Hello, everybody. It's me, Carmine DeStefano, the Bookman, here with Rockasite, and we are going to make a e-commerce site that I wanted to show you, but I kind of was messing up in the last video. Right now, I don't have anything in the actual database. I just cleared out the database, which was why I realized too late that that's the reason why I didn't clear out the database beforehand, was so I could show you what we were doing. If I tried to right now, it wouldn't do anything. So I'm going to do this basically. I'm going to show you what I did as we move along, and as we build up the tables and stuff like that, I can kind of go on both and show you what we're supposed to be making. There was a lot of stuff that was in the previous video, in the other table and everything, that was private information I wasn't supposed to release. Stuff like addresses and everything, so that's why I wanted to start fresh. Well, here we are, and the way we're going to do this is, again, download your XAMPP or your WAMP or your LAMP, whichever one that you prefer, as long as it is a Unix PHP type free service online. I'm using XAMPP, XAMPP, whatever you want to call it. And then you want to download an editor, if you haven't already, with the other videos that we've done. Visual Studio Code is one that I use, again, because it's the only thing Microsoft has made that isn't insidious or disgusting. So if you want to use something else, use something else. It's totally up to you. I'm going to use Visual Studio Code and add the ecom, which, by the way, I got FuelPHP. We're going to be using FuelPHP just in case you don't know. Download the version 1.82, which is the newest version. And then what you do is you go to your downloads. I'm so sorry, I should have showed you all this anyway, but I just did it. If you want, I could delete all that I've done and do it again, but whatever. So you download this, and then you would just extract it to a file, htdocs. And then you would rename it to ecom. If you have any questions about the specifics, I can go through it with you. But we're going to be doing this, and then you would plug into the URL localhost /ecom/public. Next time I'm going to remember to make 2 databases so I can show you the final product. But believe me when I say it's going to be really good, and we're going to have a good time doing it. FuelPHP is not one of my favorites. It's relationship databasing it basically is like shorthand, which is what relationships are more or less, but it's not really beneficial. But we'll get into all that as we move along. But anyway, then when you have this, you can insert this file, a folder into your Explorer here, or whatever it is that you use, and you just go to, you're going to have this is what you're going to see. And what I did before was, in public access CSS, you just add these files: main, header, pages, home. That's what I did. We're going to get into the JavaScript. We're not there yet. Image, we're going to get into that too. Fonts, I don't care about. And then you're going to go to Fuel, App, Config, Development, DB. And that's where you're going to find this. You put in the DB name, which is ecom. If you're using SQLite or something like that, you can read the information on FuelPHP. The documentation will tell you, or you can just go from here, read docs. It will tell you exactly how to use your database, you got MongoDBs, you got Redis DBs and stuff like that. So you can look that up if you need to in terms of connecting to those. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. FuelPHP is pretty easy in terms of its naming and whatever other conventions. So it shouldn't be a problem. And now that that's done, let's go into, because we don't want our e-commerce site to look like this. We want our e-commerce site to have items and pictures. And we're going to go into suggested items. We're going to go into real-time updating carts and stuff like that. It really is a nice site. Again, I'm going to show it to you as we move along the final product. But as of now, we've got this, and let me just keep my eyes on the time. All right, we're not even starting. We've got this. By the way, I downloaded so many extensions on this thing that it doesn't even work anymore. It's a complete mess. So don't do what Johnny Don't Do does. Don't do what I just did. But, you know, you'd want to download, there's nothing for FuelPHP specifically, but if you want to download PHP extensions, if you can type, you could download those HTML extensions, because we're going to be going back to the old days where we're going to have everything be a PHP file instead of a twig file or an embedded Ruby file or, you know, a blade file. Everything's going to be just straight up PHP files. And so you can get the HTML snippets and everything like that. I'm not downloading. I was like a binge downloader. I'm not downloading any more extensions. And CSS ones, of course. But, and that's if you want to use Tailwind, which we're not using Tailwind. We're doing our own thing. We don't need those. We're making our own CSS. Damn it. But anyway, we can start doing main CSS. And the first thing I want to do is I want to import fonts. So let's go to Google Fonts. Now, I have already prepared these, but the ones I'm looking at, and you could use your own, the ones I'm looking at are called Mukta, whatever, and Oswald. So Mukta is one that I thought was it Mukta? Mukta, it is Mukta. So Mukta is the one that I thought was for the logo, and of course Oswald. So those are the ones we're going to be using. And we're going to do an import. So I copy this. This way it knows what to reference. Put that in there. And I'm also going to get the Font Awesome CDN. And the reason is for one specific, let's do the link tag. One specific icon. That's it. That's all we're doing. There's just one specific icon. Now, if you do the link tag, for whatever reason it doesn't work, so that's why I'm importing it. But what I'm gonna do is import. You go to the CDN for Font Awesome. You say import URL, and then you just put a little thingamajigger here. And then you put a little thing here, and then you do that. And let me just double check. We gotta change this to these. I think. I'm gonna get my notes up and just double check. I kind of, you know, it's so funny. It's like, I guess I choke or something because I figured this stuff out on my own, and then when I present it to everybody, I gotta double check myself 8,000 times. So it's amazing to me. But let me just go to my main here, and let me just see. Right, okay, so that's what I did. So I just put, I just put it around everything. So we'll put that single quote around everything. Come on, work with me here. Just so it knows that whatever's in the single quotes is one string that it needs to read. Hey buddy, can't you read? And when you see it look like that, it should be okay. No, wait, hold on. Two of these. No. Give it one. That's what you gotta do. You just gotta say import URL, and then you just put in the single quote here and the single quote there. And now we should have the Font Awesome injected. We should have the fonts that we want injected. Now it's time to do our own styling. And the first thing we do is we say all. We'll get rid of all the padding and the margins. Sometimes it kicks, sometimes it doesn't. And then we'll change the font family to Arial, Helvetica, Sans Serif. If you want, you can also default a font size. I'm not doing that. But we're going to spend a lot of time just doing these. And then I want to go through the root. Actually, I think I want to do the root first. Root. And then we're going to say, what was the main color? We'll say main color. And what did I make the main color? Let's take a look. I made it, okay, that's the background. We're not up to that yet. Let's go to, that's the border. Where's my color? I want to get that green. I had a blue and a green. There we go. Okay, so then that's the arrow. And a blue and a green color. Let me see. RGB 2296190. That's the one. RGB 2296190. 2296190. As you can see, like that, there it is. Okay, so we have that. And then we'll have secondary color. And we'll say RGB, what was the secondary color? Hover. 1519076. 1519076. At least my CSS is showing up. Though I think that'll be it. I mean, we don't really need any more than that. And then let's do, let me see, so main and the whole thing. Then we want to style, let's do a style called background. Oh yeah, let's do body. Now, let me take a look at that color. Blah! I didn't want you, get out of here. Did I close it? If you notice in a lot of the major websites, you'll see that they have like a background color that's very, very faint. We're going to do the same thing with this. So we're going to say RGBA. What was it? Oh yeah, I got to say what it. Getting ahead of myself. Background color. RGBA 170, 180, 210. And 0.5. That just kind of gives it a little bit of a look that we're going to just change. I'm going to keep this open for now. So background, we do background color of white, and we do border radius. This is stuff that needs to be highlighted specifically that we have a little area for. Border is 10 pixels, padding 5 pixels, and box shadow. Did I really want to put a box shadow? I guess make it look like it's popping out at you. And we do 3 pixels, boop, beat a bop, but a boop, but a bop, but I think that's a 2, isn't it? Did I put it as a 2, as a 3? Okay. What this means. Border radius is the border's curvature. Padding, of course, obviously my favorite thing. Box shadowing is the intensity, how far out it just sort of fades to and everything. And of course, when you do RGBA, it's the RGB colors and then its opacity. The lower the number, the more opaque. Main heading, as always. And this is going to be stuff that we do now for the sake of not having to worry about it as we move along. There we go. Serif. Text align. I'm not going to put a size to it. Padding. No, hold on. Don't get ahead of me. Margin. Top. Pixels. Color. RGBA 000. And then we're going to do a form area. A few of my favorite things. Again, I'm doing this, I'm reading off this because I want to just get through this as quickly as possible so we can get to the actual coding, which is pretty easy. It's not a big deal. There's a lot of moving stuff going on, a lot of moving parts, but it's not really a big deal. Yeah, the JavaScript is the biggest problem, as usual. Text area and this is just so we have differences for our text areas as opposed to just regular inputs. Margin bottom, 10 pixels. And then main inputs, which we usually do, 100%. So that it knows. I'm going to add a couple of things in here that I didn't have before. 1 pix, solid RGBA, 110, 160, 205, 0.7. Padding 5 pixels, so we get some padding in the actual input. We're not really doing many inputs. I mean, if you want to do some kind of messaging system or some kind of rating system, we could just comment it. It's the reason why I'm avoiding that with Fuel is because, again, their relationship aspects are just not. It's not really. I'll get into it and I'll show you. It's more, like I said, shorthand. It's not anything that is very significant as we did before with Cake or with Laravel, obviously. Laravel is just stunning. We're going to do more frameworks like Laravel in the near future. That's when you're actually focused in on the main input. What are we at in terms of time now? Oh, okay, 15 minutes. We got time. Main input, placeholder, and text area, placeholder. So you all know what the placeholder looks like. It's just a little simple color change. I mean, I just do this to show off. And you kind of want a different style. You want a different flavor to your sites. What else did I have? Okay, I had the text area itself, text area focus. Okay. Again, all this stuff I do on my own. I just make it up as I go along, and then I go, oh, that was good, and then I forget how I did it. Or not that I forget, but I just want to double check. Again, this is because I don't want to sit around going, what did I forget? Oh, wait, I had to put that in. Like, I don't want to do that. I just want to get right into it. But I do want to add something else to make the actual web design and development a lot quicker and more streamlined. "14 pixels, right, 70." And of course I should have just put this in up there, but it's okay. When we did main inputs, I should have just put this in there and changed what I needed to change. Like added outline, it's whatever. It's always trying to find a way to do less typing. That's what web development's all about. Less typing. Oh wait, I don't need to do this. No, I do. We'll worry about that stuff with backgrounds and everything. Error. The problem with my web development is I make it up as I go along. And I go, oh yeah, I forgot that. My font size, 14 pixels, color. This is a different color because it's error. It's not anything really that we've used. Button area. Excuse me. 40 pixels, margin bottom. 10 pixels. I don't think I need anything more than that. Main button. Okay. So as I'm copy pasting, why don't you just copy paste? Let me see. Like, I'm doing this very quickly, so I get if you're having a hard time. If this is your first video with me and you're having a hard time following along with the CSS, I will one day kind of go into CSS as more of a tutorial than a project that we're working on together. But basically with CSS, all you're doing is you're telling the computer, or you're telling the server how things are supposed to look, how your HTML is supposed to look. And what we're doing now is we're doing a main page that's going to be consistent throughout the course of this website that references everything in specific manners. So when we just put in our classes, and our classes are named main, button, whatever, we don't have to worry about doing all this styling every time. It makes the styling a lot faster. It's basically like if you use Tailwind or you use Bootstrap, we're basically making our own Bootstrap or Tailwind is what's going on. This was the background, right? So we'll just go main color. Wait, some parentheses, was it? I haven't done the variables in a while. Hold on a second. Let me just double check. I forgot how to do the variables. Oh, okay. Well, I forgot. Sorry. Okay, and then Yeah, I was all over that for a while, and I just stopped using it. That is my mistake. My mistake. Border, none, color, white. Quick rundown. We're making a button, right? So we want the color is the text color. White. Text shadow, just to give it a little bit more pop. Font family, we're already using the Mukta. Font size, obvious. Text shadow, like I said. Background color is the color of the button. Border, none, means that you don't have that weird line around it. I'm not going to do any kind of border radius or border curvature on that because I don't really think we need it. It looks kind of cheesy. Cursor pointer means that when you hover over it, what's the cursor? Background color. You could do different ones. You can make your own. It's up to you. As var, I called it secondary color. Okay. And then we get the main link. Again, the more you work on this end, the main that you're going to use over and over again, the less you have to work on in the other ones. And you'll see oh yeah, this is the main color. The actual styling of each sheet, of each page is nothing. It's absolutely nothing because everything that we've done is here. And that's all that matters. As little work as possible, right folks? Hover, so this is the main link. These are the main links that we do, that we have on the page. We could just say class main link and it'll do all this for us. Main select. This is when you have a selection. What we did with what we're going to do with the amount, the quantity of items that you buy. Again, I'll show you as you go along, and I realized I forgot to check to ensure that we don't have, zero quantities or something, which makes no sense. Okay, outline, none, border radius, and we're going to say 5 pixels. So it's the smaller the smaller the input or the field that you're radiusing, the lower amount of border radius. Unless you want like a circle, you want like a smaller, so you just have a little bit of a curvature to the borders as opposed to like an extent. If you have something that's really like tall, like a text area or whatever, or a very thick input, then you'll want a little bit more border radiusing so it's noticeable. But if you have something that's small in size and girth, you want to have less border radiusing. Otherwise, again, it's going to become too circular. Now, again, if you want if you want to make a circle, yeah, that's fine. But you could just do border radius 50%, and you'll make a circle. But that's up to you. Main select, and I think I have one for logo, right, and one for icon. Logo. We only have the logo show up once. We only have to make the logo once. And I think I'm running on a long time now. Anyone that knows, that's watched my other videos in Cake, in Laravel, and in Code Igniter, you know that I like to spend a lot of time getting these main classes out of the way, because it's too much of a distraction if you're constantly jumping back and forth to your CSS pages and just overwhelming yourself with new styles per every single thing. It becomes too much after a while. So you want to, if you have something that's going to continually be referenced, just make it into a class, put it into a main page or a core page or whatever you want to call it. No data. Oh yeah, icon. Icon is the same thing. It's white. Text decoration, none. The icon is what we're going to use with Font Awesome. That's the reason why we put the Font Awesome CDN. Code something something or something. That's why we put that in there. Because we want to have the little shopping carts, right? Nobody can do any shopping without shopping carts online. No data. We know what that is. Text align. Center. Center. Font size 16. Just double checking what I put in terms of sizes. As you can see, sometimes it does it for me, sometimes it doesn't. Font style is italic. And margin top is 10. Hopefully I can get through this before it hits 30. Hopefully it hasn't hit 30 yet. What's the time? 24. Okay, we're doing well. Product list is something we're going to use a lot as well. Margin bottom, 10 pixels. Product list A. That is the... We're going to rename a lot of things here for the sake of the font size, for the sake of the JavaScript. And that's one thing about using functionality in JavaScript and stuff like that. I never use the label. Why is that in there? The JavaScript, you can reference functions over and over again and just keep reusing them. You'll see. And the color is the second color. But now I want to add form. And what we're going to do with form is we're going to go with 500 pixels, padding, 5 pixels, and margin 0 auto. And the reason why we're doing that is because we want all our forms to be in this small space that we call background. And then we want, and again, we're not using forms. We're only using forms for the administrative side. We're not using forms for the overall side unless you want to have some kind of product, because originally I was thinking of doing a product commentary list or Ajax real-time updated, commentary, almost like a messaging system. I mean, it's up to you if you want to do something like comments. You know, when you go to Amazon or whatever and it says comments, oh, I really love this product, or it sucks ass, don't go anywhere near it. Well, we have the main styling done. Now we have to turn this into, and let me have this up side by side, into this. And you'll see how we do that in just a second when I come back.